Hello everyone, Dave here. Today I have Rising Sun that I've brought to the table, and we are going to be talking about the insert for it from Go7 Gaming. This would be product RSUN001 storage solution for this. And before I show you the insert that I already have built, let me show you all the components that you're going to find in the retail version of the game, and I have them all set out here. Game board, we have all the clan miniatures, we have the monsters, and then we have the various season cards and coins and alliance tokens and our strongholds, clan markers, and everything that is going to come in the game I have set up to the side. I have a Kickstarter version of the game, and I will bring in those pieces and show them to you as we fill up the insert and we place it in the box. So without further ado, let's take a look at the insert. And I have the pieces already assembled. Took me, I worked on this for a couple of evenings, about an hour at a time. So it's gonna take a few hours to build this. But overall, the assembly process, what I found to be quite relaxing. It wasn't difficult at all. And I've had some experience in working with these, and I'm going to talk about the materials here in just a second. Anyways, there were a lot of frames. So this thing was quite heavy when it came. I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of sheets. And one thing that they did, I noticed on this one now, is that they actually marked what these were. In one of the other inserts it wasn't marked, but these are glue cleanup sticks, and they're really good for cleaning up excess glue along the joints, and you're definitely going to want to make use of them in this because of some of the pieces. Anyways, there is a set of instructions that's going to go over each of the different pieces, and here it's going to show you everything is all lettered and how they go together, and here would be the sheets that you'd be looking for and with the letters. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of instructions to build this, and here's all the pieces that we have assembled. So each of the clans is going to have their own box with a removable lid, and if you notice here, it is etched. This is for the Bonsai clan, and the lid comes off, and inside you're going to see where all of the figures are going to go. Look, here we have our Shintos, our Demo, Bushis, and we flip it around the other side, and here's the rest of the Bushis. So all the figures are going to go in here, and then all of our pieces for each of the clans are going to go in here. And we have one for each of the clans. So Bonsai, Koi, and the Lotus clan are all the same size, and then Turtle and Dragonfly clans are slightly different. The Turtle clan is made specifically for the upgraded stronghold tokens, which would go here, and a removable tray that's on top for figures underneath. So when we get to that, we will go over those. Then we have a big giant box, and this is going to hold all of the monsters. Now check this out. All of the figures, the plastic miniatures, there's numbers on the bottom. So now you just match them up and you'll know exactly what the names of them are as you're going to need them for the game. And so we have, here's like the Oni of Blood. We have all these Onis on here, and then the other side we have the River Dragon, and then of course Go7 has their logo on here as well. There are there's a box here that has a removable lid that's going to hold all of our coins, our Ronin tokens, and our war number tokens. This is going to be a slot for all of our season cards. There's plenty of dividers, and we'll talk about this when we get to it. And then finally, we have another tray that is going to hold our political mandate tiles, war province tokens, and on the back are going to be all of the shrine tiles. So everything is nice and denoted for us. Now, one thing that you need to note, and if you see this empty slot for these political mandate tiles, you're going to choose the position based upon whether you have the retail version or if you have the upgraded Kickstarter version for the political mandate tiles because the upgraded ones are plastic and they're a lot thicker. And so my one criticism with this particular insert is in the instructions they should have shown something, or what they could have done was underneath where it would be covered up, they could have made a demarcation that was going to say either retail or upgraded, either an R or a U, something like that, or a P for plastic and C for cardboard, where it would have been covered up so we'd know exactly which one to put this in, because I actually had to remove that and slide it back because I didn't have the pieces out. Now, in all fairness, I should have followed the instructions where it said to dry fit everything, but I didn't have the components with me to check. So that was probably my one criticism. Now, on each of these, you can see the typical construction where the joints go together. On some of these, I used two different materials for putting these two together. I used wood glue on some of the things, and then I used a tacky glue on here. And I think I like the tacky glue because it dries clear, and so you're not seeing anything on the camera. Whereas if I open up this particular one and we look and we see the glue, you can see the yellow for where the glue had dried. So anyways, so we talked about the construction time. It took me, like I said, a few hours to put this together. Overall, I had no issues with any of the pieces coming apart out of the trays, although they do a really good job with their lasering. They cut all the way around. Some of the pieces had fallen out, but it was pretty easy to tell which ones were which. Luckily, none of the pieces that made these rail guides had come loose, so I didn't have to go searching around to find which ones were which. And they even show in the instructions to make sure that the flat sides go down to the bottom. In fact, some of these, for extra support, actually go into the bottom of the tray. So I thought that was very well constructed. So anyways, let's start by filling up some of these things, and we'll start putting it into the box. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is load up this monster tray and get those out of the way. The original piece had all of these, the original case had all of these in there stored inside this box. So quite unattractive, and it's a pain in the butt to have to pull those in and out every single time. So what I told you before that all of these have a little number on them. So if we look, like this is 042. So if we find the miniatures, like this one here is 042, this is the Oni of Hate, and we're going to he's going to fit in, slide in, just inside these rails, just like this. And we'll put him face down so that this doesn't get affected by it, and he's just going to lay in there, and look, he's not going anywhere. So the next piece that we're going to do, we'll do the River Dragon, and he actually slides in on the bottom. Here it says River Dragon, so we'll just slide him in like that. And the next ones, we have some of the taller ones, which are going to be over on the side over here. So we're looking for 043, which is this one, 043. And we will set this down inside. Now some of these you have to spin a little bit so that they fit properly. Just make sure that, you want to make sure that when you're placing it in here, that the pieces are not going to be smashed by just by gravity or anything like that. So just find the best fit for how these go in. And then we have, there's another, these kind of interlock, so you have to watch a little bit. This is going to be 047, the Oni of Blood, which is this guy here, 047. He goes in sideways with his equipment here going up and down, so that we don't, you don't want to smash them in there. And then finally we have this other one that goes on top. This is a tall piece right there. And then finally we have three pieces that are left. The last one we need 034, which is going to be this one. So if we look, 034, and he's going to drop down inside. And like I said, these guys kind of interlock in here. So I'm not really sure what the best way to put these in is, but we'll drop this in with his armor. We'll probably turn him and put his feet down like that. There we go, like that. And then we will drop 018 goes on top, so like this. He's going to set in there like that. Then we'll put this guy in like this. This one goes in here like so. And finally we have this piece. He's going to go in like this. Now we have some extra space over here, which is pretty cool because there is a tray that is going to fit inside right on top. And this is going to take care of all of our war tokens and coins and Ronin and everything that's going to fit in there. So we'll go ahead and fill that up next. So we'll pop the lid off this. And the first thing that we're going to do is we just line it up. What do we have? We've got the coins. The coins are going to go in this slot. So I do not have the upgraded coins. They're just plastic coins. We'll just pour those in there. Now, here's when we're going to start seeing some separations here. Ronin tokens in the retail version come with cardboard chits, and I could go ahead and throw those in there, but I have the upgraded pieces, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in my plastic Ronin tokens right there. There's a few more, and get the rest of them here. And that's the Ronin tokens. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and put these other ones off to the side. And then finally we have the war number tokens, and this is a huge upgrade because normally we just have these little cardboard chits that have the numbers on them, but the upgraded pieces are actually 3D flags that stand up on the game board. And so we will just go ahead and drop these in there, and plenty of room to fit all of them in there, and don't have to worry about them just laying loose anywhere to get broken. These will fit right inside there just like that. So we just pop the lid on here like this, and this will actually set on top like that, and we can put this off to the side. And we have a couple of handles that are on here to lift this up on the side. One right there, and then one for your fingers on the side as well. So that is that particular piece that's taken care of. Okay, the next piece that we're going to fill is this tray that's going to hold a bunch of tiles. Political mandate tiles. Now I wanted to talk about this in particular. In the retail version, they are cardboard, and they would go in this slot, just like this. And if you notice there, with the cardboard ones, this particular divider would be placed in this closer slot to hold them in snug. But I have the upgraded tiles. So these are out, and the upgraded ones are plastic, and you can see they're much thicker. And when we drop this in, these actually fit just the way that they're supposed to, and you can see what they mean. Now, the next thing we have these war province tokens, and we look along the side, and it's going to be for each age, 1, 2, and 3. So there's 8 of them. Here are the war province tiles, and they're noted. There's the ones, so we're going to go ahead and we'll just drop those in the one space, and those go in just like that. Nice and snug fit, so the pieces they're not going to be moving around at all. So you can see right there, that's age 1. We'll do the same for 2 and 3. So here goes 2 in the slots here. And finally I will drop in 3 in the back. So here's 2. Let me just drop this in. And 3 is here. So we're loading this all up. And finally, the shrine tiles are going to go in the back side. Here's the shrine tiles. I'll just throw them around. And those go in the back, like that. So, here we have this piece is filled up. Next, we have this tray that's going to hold all of the cards. There's lots and lots and lots of room. And that's because in the game, there are different card sets that we're going to use for each of the different games. So there's going to be one set that we use all the time, and that's going to be this particular set of cards. There's no markings in the upper left-hand corner. and there's 7 of each, so there's 21 cards. And we're gonna go, these are the core season cards we're gonna use in every game, and we're going to drop them in this wider slot in the back, okay? And next, we're gonna go ahead and fill this in with additional sets of cards that are going to have, there's going to be 3 that come in the game, and there's additional ones that came with the Kickstarter and also with some of the expansions. So this is should hold everything for it. So this first set that we have, these are the Archway cards, so we'll just go ahead and drop those in one of the slots in front of them. And then we have the Horsemen, which are these, and if you notice in the corner, we have those. And so these are spring, summer, and autumn. I'm just have them all together and drop those in the slot in front of him. And then finally, this one here, this is the teapot. So we'll drop those in there. So those are the cards that come in the core set. And like I said, I have room for additional sets, which are in expansions. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is start loading up the different clans. So we'll start with the Turtle Clan. And I'm going to open this up. And there's an additional tray that comes in the side. And this is going to have all of their pieces. But the first thing that we want to do is look at some of the miniatures. So the strongholds in the base game. Retail version would be just cardboard tokens that look like this. But if you are fortunate enough to have a Kickstarter version, you get way, way, way cooler strongholds because they are actually miniatures and they look really, really awesome. So they had to make special provisions in this particular clan to hold these. So this particular one is a lot thicker than most of your other ones. So if you look at the thickness, let's do a comparison. Look at that. So significantly thicker. And the way that these go in this spot is there is a narrow spot here, and they just slide in, held in place, and their heads are going to stick up out from there. So we'll go around this one, drop in another one. He just slides in like that. Rotate it around. Another one goes in just like this, and finally down here like so. So we have all of the strongholds are now in place. Now we're gonna look here for our Bushi and our Daimo and our Shinto, and all of those pieces are going to go in there. So we'll have our pieces right here. Here's our Daimo with the black, so we'll go ahead and drop him right in this slot, and they just go right in place and drop right in, so you can see how they fit in just like that. Now we have, and they could go however you want to make them fit, but it looks like they're going to go more vertical like that, so that it keeps their feet in there and they have a little bit of room to move. Now the Bushis are going to be all of these other dudes, and they have a couple different sculpts, but we'll just go ahead and drop these in. Here's a Bushi, here's a Bushi. Shintos have a white ring on them, so we'll just go ahead and drop that in there like that, like this. And then now on the other side, we're gonna go ahead and finish putting all of these Bushis in. Now I think, what did I do? I accidentally put a Bushi where there was a Shinto, should have been there. Yep, sorry. So these should be like this. So all 3 of those are in place, and then we'll just go ahead and put the rest of these pieces in. And sorry, I'm like just moving this thing around, but go ahead and drop these down like this. Well, we gotta turn him around this way so that his equipment is standing up. And actually these will go like this. Like this. And like this. Those are the proper way to put those in. So you want to make sure you use the proper sculpts like that, and then the other ones that are just standing up guarding, they will slide in like this, and like this, and finally we'll put the other one in like this. Okay, so that's how all of the figures are going to go in, and it's going to be the same for each of the clans. Then what's going to happen is this tray goes on top to cover up everything. Now, a couple of things we'll put in there. We have our War Advantage card, which we're going to use for bidding. And then what we would do normally is we would put our Stronghold tokens in there. These I'm not going to use because I don't need them. But I do have some clan markers. There's 2 of them. And then we would have our rings for the monsters that we could potentially recruit. So we need to show ownership in the game of whose they are. So we'll go ahead and throw these rings in there. And finally, an alliance token. Now it's cardboard in the retail version, but in the upgraded version we have these nice 3D plastic pieces. So this is going to go ahead and go in there just like that. So this is going to be what it looks like for the Turtle Clan. Let me get the other ones loaded up and I will show you what they look like. Another upgraded component in the retail version, again, we have the strongholds that come with each of the clans. This would be for the Bonsai clan. And they have upgraded pieces to these 3-dimensional strongholds that look like this. So we'll go ahead and put those in there. So we've got our 4. And then we also have, again, our alliance token that goes in there as well. So this is going to be typical for the rest of the clans. Now, one note that the war outcome board we had to put underneath all of our figures. And so it's just going to be a matter of, with the sculpts, matching up what's going to fit best. And then again, we have the lid that's just going to go right on the top and cover this up. Just slide it over. And there we have the Bonsai clan. So let me get the rest of these all loaded up and we'll show you how it fits in the box. All right, we're going to put everything all in the box and I'm going to talk about each of the components. So let's start off with the big one back here. This is pretty nice. It does a good job of holding all of the monsters in place. However, you know, you just got to be a little careful in placing them in there. It is a little bit of a puzzle to get them to stay. But, you know, they're not going to go anywhere. And we have the one that's protected underneath. And I like the fact that it has a space for all of the tokens. And this is just going to drop in the box right back here. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put in the cards. So the cards go in the front section here like so. This is really, really good. Plenty of space in the cards. I'm not sure how this would do. You know, we'd have to use less dividers if you sleeve them, and I don't know exactly how many more sets there are. When I cover the additional stuff, I'll go back and revisit this piece. And then we have these particular tokens and stuff, and the way that they show this is it actually goes in this sideways. And everything is held in place so they're not going to come falling out. And the nice thing is you can see right from the top looking in on the box the 1, 2, and 3 for the ages. Now, it's just a matter of putting the clans inside the box. So again, we have the Turtle Clan and the lid just snaps on. And these are going to lay flat. So put the turtle in just like that. Now, here's the Lotus Clan. And we ended up having to put the boards underneath there. And you just have to be careful because there's 2 different sculpts for the Bushi. So just make sure that you go and find what fits. I'm not sure if this is exactly how it is. But it works for me. And the lid just snaps right on just like so. Holds everything in place, nice and close. So Lotus drops in like that. Here's the Koi Clan. These you have to be careful in twisting them because they all have those dresses and just making sure that they fit properly. And again, all the upgraded pieces. So we'll just pop the lid on here for the Koi Clan. You guys already saw the Bonsai Clan from before, so we'll just drop that in. Actually slide these all towards the front. Now, the one that I wanted to talk about, because this one I found this one to be the most challenging, so was the Dragonfly Clan. And let's take a look at this one. So in order to put this piece in the bottom, that's fine. And you have to fit and push them down. But these guys, really, you have to make sure that, like these guys, the way that they lay in here, they're not smushing each other. But it's just a really interesting how they are going to fit in there to hold this. Now, maybe I'm not doing it right. I didn't look at the pictures from the website that actually had images of these in there, but it seems to be holding in place, and I'm not seeing any swords or anything being bent out of the way. So that's a good sign. Just looking there, you can see right here is our Daimo, and his sword is intact, and we just lay this other one right on top, and we'll flip them around like this, and just drop in there, and however we're going to make them fit, I'm sorry. There we go. As long as we're not having anything going above there, we're good. That's actually nice. His sword tucks underneath some of the Shintos. And we'll just go ahead and drop the lid in there. This one was the one that was probably the most challenging to make them fit. So, and then this just drops in there. So here is the box with everything in here. It's going to add a significant amount of weight to the game. Then we just take all of our different player screens, and we'll put the board on top. And the board locks in place with the back of the monsters. So that's not going to move around. And there's actually like a little lip right here that keeps the board intact. And we'll just put the rule book in there and the lid. Let's check for fit. And it should be flush. And again, it's pretty flush right there. Maybe a slight raise on there, but not much. And I don't know what's causing that raise. I don't know if it's everything is pushed down in there. If we have a slight bit of raise, that's because I need to move these boards back over this way so that this board lays flat. Sorry, I just had to move the clan screens back there, and this will allow for a flush finish. Right here. Like that. There we go. There, it's flat. So that is the Rising Sun RSUN-001 storage solution for the base game for Rising Sun. Definitely something that's worth checking out. It is going to add a significant amount of weight to your game, so if you're toting things around, just be prepared. But that's due to the material that it's made of, which is this HDF, high density fiber board. And so anyways, if you're interested in checking this out, go to Go7gaming.com. This insert was provided to me for the purpose of this review, so this was a review copy. So anyways, thank you for watching for this one, and I will have another video that's going to cover the Daimo box insert, which is going to save us a whole lot of box space. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.